Scuba.
All right, guys, we're going to let everybody join the video here. And we're very excited. Myself, Tim from Dive Right In Scuba, and Mike Comza are going to be presenting Drysuits, all Drysuits today, talking about all the different features and things you can do to put onto your suit to make it yours. And also, we're going to really narrow down the listing of so many suits out there. How can we get this dialed in to find you the best suit? Since, the weather's getting colder. I know I was looking, I'm teaching this weekend. It's going to be really cold. You can better believe it. I'm going to be having my dry suit on. Mike, go ahead and introduce yourself, buddy.
Hi, I'm Mike Comza. I'm the Midwestern sales representative for Hewish Outdoors. And tonight specifically, we're going to be talking about one of Hewish's product lines, and it's BARE. We're, the heritage of the company is out of Vancouver, British Columbia, but we're now based in the United States. We do have engineering in British Columbia still. We do a lot of product testing up there. Our heritage is definitely Canadian, and it's something we're real proud of. It's a tough product, and its roots go way back. But I think what you're going to see tonight in some of the suits that Tim and I will be talking about is absolutely not just durability and quality, but really state-of-the-art innovation. And so why don't you just go ahead and lead in, Tim?
Sounds great. So one of the things that we get asked about all the time from our clients and our divers is wetsuit. So let's break all of these suits down as recreational and technical divers down into three categories. So we have bilaminate suits that are made. These are taking two materials and building a fairly lightweight, very flexible dry suit. Going up from there, we're into trilaminate dry suits. So kind of a unique thing about trilams, and something that BARE knows real well, is we can take a blend of three materials. So let's say we take a ripstop nylon that's super flexible, really lightweight, and make that up with a butyl rubber. And we can end up with a product that's going to serve that diver that's traveling but wants a little bit more durability and longevity out of their suit than a bilam. We can also take heavier duty materials like polyester and Cordura, and even thicker versions of the ripstop nylon, to then fit the diver that is going to be seeing a little bit more abrasion. So this could be your instructor. This can be your technical diver that, yeah, I'm doing some open water tech, I'm doing some cave, I'm doing some wreck, but I'm not really going to be throwing tanks through a hole and dragging my body through limestone and all of that, even though we may wish we want to. Probably not going to be that guy. We can get that mid-weight suit and have a nice balance of flexibility and durability. And we can also go super overboard and end up with a very thick material, whether that be Cordura or just a very thick ripstop nylon, that can take all the abuse from anything you can throw at it. So, if you want to be that guy running those expeditions, seeing parts of wrecks and caves that nobody else does, there's certainly suits that fit the build for that as well. Lastly, there's neoprene. So we all know neoprene. BARE knows neoprene real well with their wetsuit line. So neoprene suits offer something that's pretty unique, and that is an inherent warmth from the neoprene foam. Bilam and trilam, really thin material. You're not getting the warmth from the material itself. You're getting the warmth from being dry and then adding insulation, which we're going to talk about a little later, using undergarments. But with neoprene foam, we're getting the warmth right from the neoprene foam, and it's a closed cell. So you're gaining that flexibility. You're gaining the inherent warmth. You're also gaining a ton of durability. So a lot of the guys we work with here at Dive Right In, whether they're dock installers, they're fishermen getting scallops or mussels, they're commercial divers, what have you, leak detection guys, they need that durability. They're going to be freezing up a whole bunch. And maybe that's you too. Maybe you could benefit from ultra durability and still gaining some of that warmth from the neoprene. So we've got some neoprene suits to show you. Just gotta show this one real quick too. So BARE's really filled out their line of neoprene, and their new Sentry Tech. This isn't going to be as thick as your D6 with that 6 mil foam. This is really only a little bit thicker than your Trilam, but man, super nice cut, really, really flexible. So I don't want to just say all neoprene suits are crazy thick, really, really, really warm, because the Sentry has kind of changed the definition of neoprene suits altogether. Anything you want to add in there, Mike?
No, I think one of the things you and I talked about, Tim, when we were kind of discussing putting this together, is that we'd start with this overview, and that was great. Just talking about why the different materials are what they are. And then we'll get a little more into the weeds with each model suit. So if you're looking in and something kind of jumped out at you that Tim was sharing, we're going to talk about each individual model of suit here shortly. And so no, that was perfect, man. Let's go ahead and continue.
Sounds great. So you've got these different categories. We've got our bilams, our trilams, and our neoprene. What's the best suit for me? Well, we did kind of touch on, the pros and cons of maybe a trilam heavy duty versus, a lightweight bilam. But really, that's going to be up to you. And where do you see yourself going? Is this the first suit you're ordering, right after open water or advanced? And this is to get my feet wet? Well, keep your feet dry. But to really kind of get a taste for, am I going to like dry suit diving? How much am I really going to dive in Chicago area? There's a ton of wrecks. You could dive here just like me and Bill, decades down the road, still enjoying the sport. So, our bilams are great for that. Trilams, it's a great category for our recreational and our technical divers, as well as our instructors. And then, of course, neoprene, if you're really going to be needing that durability, that's where the neoprene suits are going to serve that. And maybe you're just more of a fan of having a little bit of inherent warmth from the suit. And I want the durability too, because I'm into rec and tech and things. And that's where like the Sentry Tech Dry kind of fills it in. So why don't we dive into the suit overview a little bit here, Mike? So let's start at the entry level. So here we got one of our rental Nex Gens. So this one's seen some abuse, but it is still kicking and going great. So the Nex Gen is a super lightweight suit. This thing doesn't even feel like a dry suit. I mean, I'm going to have to estimate, you're less than 8 pounds or probably less than 6 pounds on this thing. And it is super flexible. Just like we're going to talk about on a lot of these BARE suits, their pattern is very well cut for the American market. We have more people fitting into a stock BARE suit than really any other suit out there. So that's definitely a kudos to the guys at BARE. It's got some Milko knee pads. This one's going to come as a blank. Am I correct on that, Mike?
Elaborate for a second, Tim, or just say, you mentioned about the fit. And what I want people looking in to realize is, and this is a really, really exceptional feature of BARE in their manufacturing approach, is that suit that Tim just showed you comes in 16 sizes. Everything between extra small up to 3 extra large. We have talls, we have shorts. That suit's available in a variety of different dimensions. The patterns are great. You almost don't need a made to measure, or what most people would call a custom suit, because look at the way that suit kind of lays when Tim holds it, right? It's a bilaminate material. How are we accounting for movement? By having a fair amount of material, right? Which gives you the flexibility to move in any direction when you're in that suit. So it's a very universal fit.
Yeah, and fit's something that's really important, with dry suits. And we're going to talk about sizing a bit later, but I'm glad you brought that up. So this suit being a back entry looks pretty darn tall. It's not meant for someone that tall. It's really meant for someone a little bit shorter. We need excess in this material because guess what? Like our jeans and our clothes and everything, it doesn't stretch. So when I do this, your pant leg can't just ride up on you. So you're going to have excess in the arms and excess in the legs that's going to allow you as the diver to really get full mobility. So yeah, BARE Nex Gen. This is in our dry suit department. The reason they love it, this suit is very easy to work on, very easy to repair, field repair, and it's a really durable suit for how thin it is and how lightweight.
Tim, I just thought I'd interject one more quick thing. Tim mentioned that this is called in the Nex Gen Pro Dry. So in our nomenclature at BARE, we have two categories of suits. We call it Pro Dry, which is a shoulder entry suit, or many people call it a back entry suit. And then we have Tech Dry. And it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that the suit's used for technical diving. It can be used for a variety of purposes. But Tech Dry means front entry. And we'll be showing you examples of that shortly.
Yeah, excellent. So just kind of the insider tip there. If you're looking at the website and you see a suit with Pro, think back entry. If you see a suit with Tech, think front entry. So kind of coming through and getting our way towards Trilam, this is a unique suit. So this is the Aqua. And the Aqua is actually a membrane suit. It's actually made of 4 layers. And what this is a breathable material. What that means is that's allowing the diver, when he's out of the water and he's sweating, he's got his undergarments on and everything, it's going to allow that excess body heat to escape the suit. However, the moment you hit the water, it is still 100% of a dry suit. That membrane's basically closing up, if you will, and not allowing your gas to just escape throughout the whole suit. So really unique. So this is like my dream July Chicago suit. 100 degrees outside, 40 degrees beneath thermocline. So breathable suits, and I'll tell you, it makes a great backup suit. If you're thinking you got a suit, you've had one in for repair and things, and you hate being without it, the Aqua Tech Dry is a ready-to-go suit, and it's a great warm temperature outside, cold in the water. So what we're noticing on our Tech Dry is, of course, it's front entry. With front entry suits, guess what? They are super tall. Well, that's because of that feature we were talking about before. We need the excess to allow our body to move and everything, and especially get our head into the neck seal. So if you can imagine this suit being built for me, I wouldn't be able to get my head into that neck seal unless I crouch down. So by having a telescoping torso, it's allowing me to put it on real easy. And then the bottom is getting accordion folded, and when I'm actually donning the suit and wearing the suit, and it's not even noticed. So it's just going to be sitting right underneath the skirt here. And you're going to notice a lot of front entry suits on the market. BARE is nailed it out of the park with theirs. And with front entry suits, what do we got to do? Well, when we're out of the water, we're going to have some suspenders as well, help keep that suit up. So on the Aqua, this suit is 100% ready to ship to you. So we'll get into the building process and things, but it's coming with a neoprene neck seal, very robust. It's coming with latex wrist seals, and it's coming with a real nice tech boot. So an attached tech boot. We've also got some nice knee pads as well. So if you accidentally touch the bottom or anything like that, you're covered. And that's the Tech Dry. Aqua.
This toss in on that suit isn't as much a feature of the suit itself, because I think you covered it perfectly. Lightweight, breathable, comes as finished goods. So when the customer orders the suit from Dive Right In Scuba, it ships the next day and they're ready to go. But what I wanted to mention is that this suit is unique to BARE because it actually comes with base layer insulation for the price of the suit. Now, this insulation, I'm just going to mention, this is like a $200 value for the top and the bottom. It's included with the price of your Aqua Trek Tech. So very cool. Great value in that suit.
Absolutely. Yeah, so definitely check out the Tech Dry, Aqua Trek Tech Dry, that is. Ready to go, coming with a set of undergarments for you, and a great starter suit or a great backup. So going from there, we get into our Trilam category. So bear with me just one moment. All right, so we have a Trilam Tech Dry. This is actually a ladies model, and our Trilam Tech Dry is going to be our mid-weight Trilam. So it's a polyester. It's got nice abrasion resistance. It's got a great balance of durability and flexibility. And one of my favorite things, it's got a really nice pattern, real easy for valve drills, a little bit of extra protection up top, a little bit of extra protection down below as well. This one we had built with pockets, so that is an add-on for you guys. But it is coming again with a nice knee pad, give you some protection there. Got the telescoping torso, nice front entry zipper, and we get to choose, because this one is actually one where we're going to build it for you. So we get to choose our fixings. So what do we want for the neck, the wrists, and the footwear? One of our favorites. We haven't really talked about zippers just yet, but it is coming with a really nice, very, very flexible plastic zipper. So plastic, again, just adding that flexibility to the overall build of it. This is a great middle of the road Trilam suit that you can have for a decade and still be enjoying it and staying dry and everything. Anything you want to add on the Trilam there?
There more of a comment about a couple of small details to me. You mentioned the
Sure.
M-pad knee pads, which are really, really nice, but I love how they back the knee pad with 2mm neoprene back behind it. So it's actually really, really comfortable if you go down in your knee. And a lot of dry suits, especially Trilam or polyurethane dry suits, it's not very comfortable when you take a knee. But on that suit, it was a really nice detail that they added. It's got that 2-needle feld seam construction, so it's really, really well put together. The finish is nice, and includes suspenders with the suit. So when you buy that suit, just like with that object, you get a set of suspenders with the suit. It's just a sidebar. It's by far my biggest selling suit, and I know a lot of it has to do with my enthusiasm for the product. But the fact of the matter is, in the 8 years that I've been with Huish Outdoors and BARE, I just never have any issues with the suit. I mean, I'd have to tell you right now, across the board, manufacturing-wise, I'm not experiencing any kind of material issues at all. The zippers that you mentioned, the plastic zippers, they've been phenomenal. You guys service dry suits at your business. Tim, I know the early version of the plastic zippers that came out of Europe, there were some issues. So like sometimes the reputation kind of precedes itself, and people have old information and think plastic, oh, I heard those weren't good. These are exceptional. Not only flexible, as you pointed out, but extremely, extremely durable.
Yeah. So great middle of the road. So if we take a step up from there, so then we kind of get a little bit of a hybrid suit. So this is the HD2, and so it's coming with a really nice flexible Trilam, again, kind of a middle of the road in terms of durability and flexibility. Then I've got a nice outer panel of protection with that Cordura to really give the high wear areas for those cave and wreck divers, just to help protect that. You're going to notice that in the seat, in the crotch, and throughout the legs as well. So really taking a nice platform of the Trilam and kind of going a step up at giving us a hybrid of materials, giving us the durability where we need it, keeping the flexibility where we want it. Again, with that really nice wide pattern to help with valve drills and anything like that. Again, we're going to get into the build of suits a little bit, but this one is one of them where, we're going to have that built special for you. So we're going to pick all the different fixings, pick the best size for you, and have that suit ready to go.
As far as being really accessory rich right out of the box, comes with pockets, tech pockets with 5 bungee cords on the tech pockets, comes with the most durable knee pads, suspenders. You talked at length about the Cordura, but it's got an over zipper as well. So it's offset to the main zipper. There's a zipper cover, which is going to extend the life of your primary zipper. That's all stock when you buy that suit. So right out of the gate, you're buying a suit that's going to take you a long, long way.
Absolutely. So the other suit to kind of finalize our Trilam, Bill's going to pop up the picture of it here. We had it sell earlier this week. Otherwise, we'd have it to show. Bill, let me know when you got it up there.
Well, I don't know if you can hear Tim right now. When they switch to the graphic of the suit, the audio dropped off. Oh, there you are. Okay. I was just going to say, we switched to the graphic of the suit. I lost you, my man. I was going to start to run with it, but you go ahead. You're back.
Yeah, no. So this is the 50th anniversary X Mission Evolution. This is really the cream de la crop. This is a very, very well-built suit. It is using a newer Trilam, and I got to tell you, we all love it. This is really our favorite Trilam that's out there. It's right in the middle of the road in terms of durability and flexibility and weight. It is coming with pockets. It's coming with the nice telescoping torso, front entry suit and zipper. A nice protective overlay as well. Mike, what else you got to add on the Evolution?
I was just going to say too, mate, one of the things we hadn't talked about really was color options. On most of our suits, like the rest of the diving industry, everything is black. But you can get the X Mission and the Expedition HD2, the Trilam Tech Dry, which you also showed. All those suits are available also in red. And then there's also the Sentry Tech Dry, which is the neoprene suit Tim was talking about. We'll be touching on that in a moment. Those suits are available in black, red, or blue. So we do have some color options. Now, the X Mission is also available in that graphic you saw. It's a 50th anniversary edition, BARE's 50th year. We're very proud of that. We wanted to create an exceptional version of the X Mission to commemorate our 50 years in the diving industry. And they came up with some great colors. You saw the one. It's an olive, a drab Canadian flag logo on the sleeve. Just looks cool. Really a cool design. Also available in black and gray. And the basic X Mission is available in either red, as I said, or black.
Excellent. Yeah. So again, in terms of material, newest age out there, just a really nice blend of flexibility and durability. And yeah, you can't go wrong with the X Mission. All right, so let's jump into our neoprene range here. How are we looking there, Bill? Looking good. All right, so with neoprene, we're going to start off with our D6. So D6, it's the HD Pro. This one's coming with a metal zipper, and it is a rear entry in the Pro suit. This is one of those suits where you can go ahead and add your kind of fixings to it. So our seals and our boots and things. Does come with a really nice heavy-duty Kevlar knee pad and just a really warm 6mm neoprene. I mean, there's not much more to really go on than I've got the flexibility of neoprene. I've got the warmth of neoprene. but it's added because now it's dry, and I can still toss on an undergarment. You're just not going to be throwing on, you know, the super thick 450-gram undergarment. Yeah, it's a workhorse. I mean, this is our go-to suit for anybody that needs extreme durability. So, of course,
that from a standpoint of BARE, this is our largest selling suit. And a lot of people look at it and just say, Mike, you got to be kidding me. I mean, this is a suit that its origins at 6 millimeters. It goes back to the 70s and 80s. I mean, that's what dry suits were. Why is it such a big seller? And the reason is, you know, Diver and Scuba will tell you too, it's because of the proliferation of these suits in aqua farming and commercial diving. So these guys are using these suits solely because of the durability of the suit. It's extremely, extremely durable, but think about it. Those of you who are cold water divers, you have to add weight, right? You have to have weight to become neutrally buoyant or slightly negatively buoyant at depth if you're a working diver. And if we're talking about covering your body with 6 millimeters of neoprene plus an airspace, it's a lot of weight. So if Tim's talking about making the right suit choice, if you're a working diver, I don't know if you could pick a better suit. But if you're an explorer, a recreational diver, someone more like me or Tim, maybe that's not the best choice for you. But the cool thing is, BARE's got it all. So no matter what you want to get into, we've got the suit for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, that kind of brings us to, well, this is one of the suits for me. And
me too. That's what I'm diving. That's what I'm diving.
So this is the BARE Sentry Tech. And this suit's been out just for a few years now, but it's gotten an absolutely great reputation out there as being kind of the new standard for neoprene suits. So this is using Yamamoto neoprene, so it's very stretchy, hyper compressed. It's pretty thin for being neoprene. I mean, I could definitely say that I wouldn't need a base layer. You know, if I, like, let's say I'm diving a Trilam and this water temp is just for a base layer, I probably would ditch the base layer. I would just have on, you know, a wicking layer. But I'm still going to wear some undergarments with this. Great stretch, great mobility. That beautiful Y pattern again really kind of shows when you're reaching up and back. So valve drills are a breeze with them. You know, this suit is just like the D6 put together with their no stitch technology. So you don't have a million holes into the suit material that we're worried about in the future. They're actually, yeah. So looking at those seams, I mean, they even give a bit too, you know, so the suit's just really, really well built. Nice flexible plastic zipper again, coming with our Kevlar knee pads. And this is one of those suits where it's sitting at the warehouse ready for us to customize and put it all together. Anything you want to add on that?
I just want to point out, because the flexibility that Tim mentioned, the other advantage is the cut and pattern of the suit, right? We don't have to allot for as much additional material on that suit. Now you might say, but Mike, it's a front entry tech dry suit. Doesn't it need a telescoping torso? The way that this suit works is we have something called an ATX, which is an automatic torso extension. There's no crotch strap on this as you would have with a suit that had a huge amount of extra material in the midsection. So when we look at telescoping torsos on the tri-laminate suits, right, those had to have that extra material. But remember, this suit gives, right? You're going to have some flexibility. So we're going to have a much more contoured fit. It's streamlined in the water. I dive this suit in the St. Clair River. So when I'm moving through the water column, I'm not going to tell you it dives exactly like a wetsuit. It doesn't dive like a wetsuit, but it's very close fitting, very streamlined suit.
Excellent. So that is a quick overview of the BARE dry suit line. One of the things that we all really like dealing with a ton of manufacturers for dry suits and things is what makes BARE special with their building, buying process as us, the end user, or us, the salespeople, helping out you, the end user, get your suit quickly and exactly how you want it so that modifications don't have to be made to a stock suit. We have a very large repairs facility. I can't tell you how many times I see a brand new suit get sent in to us saying, please change the boots. Like, the boot is brand new. Like, that breaks my soul a little bit, you know, or put on a replaceable system, or things like that. So the really neat thing is BARE has suits that are ready to go. That's the Aqua Tech Dry that we were talking about. That suit has the latex, the neoprene neck, and the boots attached. And this suit is ready to ship to you right away. So if time is of the essence and I need that suit tomorrow, well, that's kind of our go-to. Then we have their building process of blanks. So a lot of the suits that you saw today are available, and they're sitting pre-built to a point as what they call a blank. And that just means that it doesn't have any wrist seals or wrist options, doesn't have anything on the neck. We can add those options, and it doesn't have anything for footwear. So we can add that to fit you exactly. So if I've got a small guy like myself that's got a size 12 foot, but the size chart thought, from XYZ company thought that I should only have an 8, well, I'm sending in my suit to get that boot chopped off and replaced. You don't have to do that with BARE, and that's so great. Building these suits out, it's not months. It's just a little bit of time. You're talking a little bit over a month or to a month on average. So we can all plan a little bit to make sure that suit's coming in time. The last one is, well, what if I want a made to measure? Or I want that special color, or I want to do something that's a little bit out of the box and is going to require some extra attention and detail put into it. That's where we do a made to order in our made to measure dry suits. So these suits are built over in Malta at the BARE facility. And if you haven't already done so, I'm going to throw it in the description of this. Check out their video of their tour for BARE. It is so cool. And, being a dry suit nerd myself, they have all the tools and everything you can ever want in a repair facility, all set up and just really, really high class. Great operation you guys have there. And it gets built over there, and then they send it over here to Salt Lake, goes through quality control, and then gets to you. And that's still not that long. That's just a few months for that to complete. Mike, anything you want to add in on your guys' special process?
Just a detail on what you had mentioned regarding manufacturing blanks. So imagine a warehouse in Salt Lake City filled with hundreds of suits of each of the styles that Tim highlighted today. And these suits, as I said, all available in, a variety of different sizes, like the X Mission and the HD2, 19 sizes for those suits. So in the case of the X Mission, we've got all those sizes in Salt Lake City. So we're going to spend a little bit of time on how to size you for a suit. And if you fall within the range of a stock size suit, and with 19 sizes, most people do, we've got those blanks hanging there. And then it's just a matter of us collaborating with you, the customer, and the dealer on exactly what accessories you want on the suit, as far as what boots, what cuff set, and what neck seal you want on the suit. And we build the suit. And right now, we're running between 4 and 5 weeks delivered to you. I just had an order of 8 Trilam Tech Dries to a dealer in Ohio, and we delivered those suits in under 4 weeks. Right now is an outstanding time to order your BARE suit. We don't have a deep backlog of product, and in talking to my dealers, that's not the information I'm getting from my competitors. They're telling me, oh, Mike, I'm getting promises where people are going to get their suits sometime in the spring. That's not the case with us. If you want a new dry suit and you want to be diving the suit in 2022, then BARE's the answer.
Absolutely. So what I'd like to do now is take some time to talk about the different options you have as the potential buyer here for your dry suit. So you've already picked out the material you want. You're going with, a Trilam, you're going with a Sentry Tech. Now let's put the thing together. So starting at the top of the suit here, we have the choice of latex seals, neoprene, and replaceable systems. So latex seals and neoprene are simply glued onto the suit. There's no ring, nice and flexible. That's all it is. Latex, as some of you guys may already know, it's a little interesting putting it on. You're kind of feeling like you're being birthed. It's pretty tight up against the neck, but we're going to have that sized appropriately for you. There's rings that we can trim as well if we need additional sizing. This is a very dry seal, and you'll kind of get why I'm saying that in just a second, but very dry seal. So advantages, pretty durable, and it's a very dry seal. It's easy to install. This is one that we knock out all the time for folks, but downside, it degrades over time. So heat and ozone are going to start to deteriorate this and make it gummy. And eventually what will happen is your seal just won't seal anymore, or it's going to tear, or it'll have micro tears in it. So it's kind of the downside there. Neoprene, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to, it's right here. I'll dig for it. So neoprene seals on the neck, very warm, very durable, and they're going to tuck in up against your neck to keep you dry. Because of just that, it is a smooth glide skin that's on there that's doing the sealing, and you do have a little bit of pressure as well. Because of all of that, when you start moving your head around, you are going to get a little bit of micro leakage back behind the neck and in those folds of your body and everything. So it is a little bit of a wetter seal, but very durable, doesn't break down due to heat and ozone, so a great choice. Really, our fan favorite out there is the replaceable system. So there's 2 replaceable systems available for BARE here, and we've got the quick neck, which is a neck ring that is getting installed to your suit. So this flat end is getting adhered to your dry suit material, and it's leaving this channel open. That channel is going to take, which is kind of unique, it's taking a silicone seal, so you can lay it nice and flat, and then press that ring in using the supplied tool, and it's allowing us to use silicone. So silicone seals can't be glued to your suit, but they certainly can be watertight and fit if using one of the SciTech systems available. So the other cool thing is this is offering us field replacement, and that's why the majority of us are all diving with them. Is we've all been there. You tear your seal on one of the coolest dives, or you're getting ready to go on a nice dive trip. Now I got to send it to us to dive right in Scuba, have them change it out and get it flipped around for you real quick. Well, you can do this right on your own. And I'll tell you what, I'll take 2 seconds here just to show you how easy that is. So on the inside of the suit, we see the seal. If I peel this back, I see that yellow ring, and I can just push forward. And that neck seal comes right out. I lay the neck seal down, put the yellow ring there, and I use our little spline tool, and I just seat that guy right into place. So whether you like latex, silicone, or neoprene, you can go with the quick neck. And just to show you what that neoprene replacement looks like, so very similar, except it's got a special material here, a special type of neoprene that is going to seal when seated in there. So really cool feature. The other neat thing, BARE's one of the first to offer it, is the O-Rust. So the O-Rust is insanely flexible. Really flexible. It's so flexible that the yellow ring would just pop right out. So what we're going to add to it is we're going to add some little clips sitting around that neck ring, which are supplied, of course, and that's just going to give that pressure and that squeezing power so that the neck ring doesn't fall out. So changing a neck seal on a O-Rust is going to take a little bit more time because now I got those little clips to deal with. But for someone that's small like myself, this is my preferred choice just because it's a big ring. And if your back plate, your side mount harness, your BCD is sitting on that neck ring, it can be a little bit uncomfortable, and it can take away some of my flexibility. By having the O-Rust, which is the most flexible of all their options, it's given that back to me. So very cool feature. Anything you want to add there, Mike? All right, so moving to the wrists. So we've got the option of our bottle wrist seal, bottle latex wrist seal. Neat thing about bottle seals is we've got a nice sealing surface. So if you're always finding yourself, working your camera, working your rebreather, whatever, and getting that little bit of a trickle through that area, that kind of channel that's made, the bottle is going to really help take that away. So I'm a huge fan of the bottle seal. You're going to notice there's really no trimming rings. It's not tapered really much at all. They are sized, so we'll go through that on the sizing side, but great choice. We also have a cone option. So the cone you've probably seen a lot of, it's just tapered. You can trim that right to where you want. It's nice, it's comfortable. If you're using this for multiple people or something like that, that might be a nice feature. And then we've got silicone. So again, we can't glue the silicone, and those latex options are being glued or used with the system, but we can do one of 3 or 4 options from BARE. I mean, we could do any of them here as well, but starting with our most popular is the quick cuff or the SciTech round. So it's a larger diameter, can fit anybody's big old hand through that. So if you do have larger hands, this is a great option. What is happening with this, to show you how easy it is to pop it out, they're adhering this semi-flexible, kind of rigid ring right to the end of the sleeve, so there's no seal. You then are wrapping your seal around a rigid ring, and then it's just getting pressed into place. So it's given us that opportunity to use silicone or the latex that we talked about. Neoprene is also an option. We don't do a ton with neoprene latex or neoprene wrist seals because they leak quite a bit just with that channeling and everything. But if you want the durable seal and the durability of it, you don't want the degradation of the latex, that would be a good option. So that is the round quick cuff. So our oval is the next one. So the oval QCS from SciTech, smaller size, better fit for someone like myself. Still replaceable, still getting adhered to your suit sleeve, just giving us a smaller profile. So for most women, for small folks like myself, great option, really reliable, and a ton of dry glove options are out there for any of the systems we talk about. So then we've got the Kubi, and Kubi's gained a lot of popularity. Now, this seal's broken, so I apologize. But so Kubi is offering us 4 different sizes: a 100 millimeter, 90, 80, and 70 millimeter diameter ring that can be attached directly to your suit sleeve, giving you a replaceable seal system, just like we saw here. But what's the difference? It's aluminum, so you got great durability and just beef to that. This thing is really lightweight and it just is so strong. I got 4 sizes. So now, finally, when I have someone that's really petite and small with that small hand, I can set them up with the 70 millimeter Kubi system. And that's going to allow them to have the least amount of diameter and kind of bulk on the end of their sleeve. So when they're getting into their kit, they're moving around their side mount tanks, their rebreather, whatever it may be, they have the least amount of bulk. So really unique feature from them. And same thing applies. 100 mil. You got really big paws. Well, guess what? The 100 mil is one of our favorites there too. So that is the wrist systems there.
One comment about Kubi, just for the listeners, and that is, as Tim pointed out, exceptional sizing, absolutely state-of-the-art construction. The one thing from BARE when we opt for Kubi versus a quick cuff system on the suit is that we've actually got to tailor the material in the forearm all the way to the wrist to adapt to the size of the Kubi rings that we install in the suit. So in effect, even if you're in a stock size suit, we've got to customize the sleeve to fit the ring set. Now, the only side effect of that is time. So instead of me getting you your suit in 4 weeks, the build time is going to be more extensive if you opt for a Kubi system. Keep in mind, though, as Tim pointed out, you're going to have this suit a long time. Could be 10 years. So what's a few weeks? On the other hand, I just want to make you aware that if you opt for a Kubi system, the build delay is there. It's going to take a little longer to get your suit. Can't do it in 4 weeks.
And if you guys have ever wondered on our end of things too with repairs, that is where, I mean, the amount of workmanship that goes into turning this to fit this really shows. And you guys have done a great job installing the cooties at the factory there.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, there is a lot of that has to be done to make that work right.
Yeah.
All right, so there's one other system. I got to tell you, I forgot it. It's the Slago. We'll cover it real quick. So the Slago is similar to the O-Rust. It is so flexible that it's requiring these little clips. These little clips hold in a retaining ring, and ultimately just it's a circular shaped system. Hasn't gained a ton of popularity yet, but just know that's an option as well. So we've got our wrists selected. We've got our neck selected. Let's drop down a little lower. So we've got pockets. We all love pockets. No more danglies on your kit. Throw it in your pocket. So probably our most popular add-on on any dry suit is a pocket. Mike already kind of talked about the beauty of our tech pocket with BARE. But the idea is you've got a nice large bellow pocket. You've got a nice tight fitting inner pocket, which is going to be good for wet notes and slates and things like that. But that bellows pocket, I mean, it's massive. You can stick all kinds of things in there. And there are a few different pocket options that we'll talk about when you're ready to build your suit. But really nice construction. Kind of the little accessory pocket, your bolt snaps, your star tool, that kind of stuff fitting right up on top. But definitely a favorite of ours. Anything to touch on for pockets there, Mike?
Suit that you purchase is we make material that will have the same rate of elasticity as to build the pocket out of that the suit is made of, right? So we have Cordura, we have trilaminate, we have neoprene. So depending upon what kind of suit you get, that's going to dictate the material that the pocket is made of so that it's compatible and stretches the same way. It doesn't feel like it restricts your movement on the legs. They get down to the smallest detail on accessories.
Yeah. So moving down from there, well, we got P-valves. So, and you've got relief zippers as well, but we're going to talk the more popular P-valve. So, and I'm going to take over a little bit here from you, Mike, but, so we offer so many different P-valve options. I really just want to talk to you about the main two different options you've got out there, and that's the unbalanced and balanced. So when we're ordering up your BARE, we can set it up with really any of the P-valves that we offer here. Let's just talk real quickly. So what's the idea? The idea is I need to go to the bathroom underwater. I've been down here for 2 hours, or it's really cold. It's hit me. This is how it's going to happen. You're not unzipping a relief zipper underwater. You're not unzipping your dry suit, anything like that. Certainly not going to wear Depends. P-valve is much easier. So this is going to be mounted to the inner leg, and there's some tubing. There's a barbed fitting. Most people go with a quick disconnect so that I can easily remove this, and then it's going to be attached to basically a condom catheter that has some adhesive to attach to you. For women, there are sheepies, so that attaches to you and then gets plugged into that barbed end. So with unbalanced P-valves, it is really simply just a straight shot from you to the fitting here. So air, if I drop down underwater, air is in this tube. It's not filled with liquid. So I need to fill that with liquid. So I need to go to the bathroom before I drop down. If you don't, you are going to feel that pressure from the outside in on your best friend there. So unbalanced P-valves, very simplistic, really no failure points. You just need to use the bathroom at the surface before you drop down. So for those that want the most simplistic option, this is that. Balanced P-valves, 99% of folks have gone that route, and I don't blame them. It has a balancing chamber built into it that is taking the inner suit pressure and equalizing that tube pressure, if you will. There's also, exhaust valves and things like that, or one-way valves going on so that water's just not coming into your dry suit. So I didn't go to the bathroom at the surface. I'm down at 200 feet. You can go. You don't have any concern there at all. What they do to back you up, what if that valve were to fail or something like that? Things happen. You need to get things serviced. Well, I haven't done that, and that little sucker fails, and you're starting to get liquid into the dry suit. These are going to have a shut-off type system. Same with our unbalanced as well. So we can shut that unit off. Now there is no more liquid coming into the dry suit. except for what was in the tubing. So balanced valves are really popular. Pretty straightforward again. Unbalanced, go to the bathroom at the surface. Balanced P valves, you can go at any time. Having the on-off, as you saw, for us really cold water divers, we all like having a big knob. So there's a lot of options that have that. Yeah, so definitely something you should think about if you need to go. Moving our way down from there, we've got footwear. So, we're not wearing our wetsuit boots. We are going to be fully engulfed dry from neck to toe. And we have really three options when we're putting together your BARE suit. We have a really heavy duty vulcanized rubber suit with an amazing tread. This thing is the workhorse. Most of our D6s that are going to the commercial divers and fishermen and things are going to go that route because, well, they need it. This thing's got a lot of weight to it. If you're the traveling diver, you're someone that's not going to be walking on crazy surfaces and things like that. This may be overkill, and you'll go with our most popular option, which is the tech boot. So the attached tech boot looks a lot like our ultra warm boots, in my opinion. It's got a decent tread. It's got some, some protection up front, some protection in the back, so when that thin strap isn't just destroying the boot. And it's got a nice ankle strap, so we can noose this down and really constrict how much gas is going to the feet, giving you a better diving experience. And then for the small percentage of us, like myself, that like attached socks, there's that option too. So why do I say it's the small percentage? Well, it's an extra step when you're donning and you're doffing your suit. You're going to now have to lace up an overboot on top of this before you just you can't put that into a fin. It's going to get destroyed. So we got to put that into an overboot like the Air Force One. And that is going to take the abuse and keep your Drysuit sock dry. So I've always liked neoprene socks because I can control really how much gas is going to my feet by just tightening up the laces. And you get a really nice, firm, and stable kick throughout your dive. I'm a big fan. Again, the downside is you just got to lace them up and you got to unlace them when you're donning and doffing, versus the ease of just sliding your foot into the leg and you're already in your boot. All you got to do is just a little noose. So, anything you'd like to add on that guy?
Tim, one is that you're seldom just putting your bare foot into the Drysuit boot, right? There's typically a boot liner that would go, a sock of some kind that would go over the top. We're going to get into insulation in just a minute. That's a necessity. You want to figure on that. The second thing is, if you're making the transition, if you've never been a Drysuit diver before, and you're going from a wetsuit boot to wearing a Drysuit, just almost count on that you're going to be making an additional investment in a new set of fins. Because think about it. If your wetsuit boot is form fitting, and why wouldn't it be if you were sized correctly, your open heel dive fin is going to be really, really tailored to fit that. Yes, they're adjustable, but with a Drysuit boot, typically we're talking about a much greater mass in the foot space. So going to a larger fin is probably going to be part of the equation. That was the only thing I wanted to add.
No, excellent. And that really leads us into the next phase, which is sizing. So talking about the footwear and how am I going to accommodate this size? Well, that's a lot up to the end user. What am I going to be wearing? I wear a size 10.5, and I'm wearing a size 13 sock. So that should tell you how much insulation I am wearing on my feet. So if I just went and didn't order through Dive Right and Scuba and one of us and helped us guide you, I would have ended up with a very small sock that would have only accommodated a very small amount of insulation. So this is where one-on-one, we're going to be able to really fine-tune all of the little things and make sure that this is the perfect suit for you. Even if that means, sending me insulation and socks and boots and things like that, whatever we need to do to make sure that all these things are right, that's what we're here for. So let's talk about sizing in general. So we're interested, we've seen some suits and things. How do I take these measurements? Bill, if you would. So you don't need to do the entire BARE video that we're going to have attached in the description here. just to see how we look in stock sizing. You just need a few measurements. So as you saw, Bill already took off his coat. These measurements are to be done pretty much up against your bare skin or a very thin t-shirt. I would normally have Bill take off his shoes as well so that we're getting accurate measurements there. These measurements want to be taken over the widest part of our body. So first thing I would do is take Bill's height. Not going to do that because he's wearing shoes and we've got that down. Next, I want to know what his neck measurement is because we're going to need that when we are going ahead and taking care of our seal. So right under the Adam's apple, and I'm not noosing him with any of these measurements. I want it laying flat right up against the skin. Take the measurements 2 or 3 times. Let's confirm that we're getting the right number there. So from the neck, I'm just going to go straight down to the wrist. We're going to need to know that for his wrist seal size. So you take that on both sides. Take it a few times. Why not? Next, we're going to look at his chest. So we are looking for the widest part on Bill's chest. So taking this measurement, you can travel up and down a little bit, looking for that biggest number. And you want to do this relaxed. I don't need him taking the biggest breath of his life, and I don't need him fully exhaled either. So you're going to take that, retake the tape, maybe move it down a touch, take it again. What's that biggest number we're finding? And then from there, men's suits are really built like a box. So the waist isn't as necessarily important, but you can still take the waist. And with BARE, you can take that right at the belly, taking it all the way around. So then going down from there, we have the hips. So hips are going to be really not at the hip bone, but at the widest part of his hips. Taking that, travel up a little bit, which is generally, we're looking for the butt area, take it down a little bit, find that biggest number. And then from there, doing the floor to crotch. So what we like to do here is just squeeze the upper tape, have him hold it right up against his boys, and take it down to the floor, making sure that he's not looking down. So he's going to be looking nice and straight up. Of course, he doesn't have his shoes on, taking that measurement there. And then finally, never a bad idea, just to help us with footwear and things, go ahead and take a foot length and foot width. If you have really big, wide feet, 4E, triple E, whatever, there's accommodations for it, but we definitely want to know that when we're getting your suit squared away. So what we do is we just put the tape right up against the baseboard, have you step on it, both feet, and then take the width and find that widest part and step on that as well, finding what that number is, and then you can come back to us with that. Thanks, Bill. Anything you want to touch on there?
Those of you that are watching, that will be posting a URL for you to click on, which will show a BARE engineer measuring a subject. And it's going to be like you're measuring that person for a made-to-measure dry suit. But this will give you the perfect tutorial for how you would take measurements at home that you could provide to Tim, even if you're not in the location in Plainfield. And that way we know the measurements are going to be done right. There's nothing more frustrating than us building a beautiful new BARE dry suit that was measured incorrectly. So we want to make sure we get these measurements right. That's it.
Yeah, you hit it on the head. I mean, we're going to be waiting, a few weeks for the suit to come in, or if we're doing a made to order or made to measure, we're waiting a little bit longer. We want to make sure that that's the best fitting suit for you. So take the measurements a few times with the help of somebody else. Watch the video as you're doing them, jot them down, and let us know what you found for your set of measurements there. So that's on sizing. Really the only thing we didn't talk about here is insulation. So if, during the sizing, what you're going to find with us is we're going to talk to you a lot about what are you thinking you're going to need. How do you run? Do you run cold? Do you run warm in a normal situation? Do we need a ton of undergarment space and things? And that's where working with us, and we work with Mike and BARE directly. Hey, so is a stock suit going to work, for this type of insulation requirement? Or, hey, I want a cave cut, well, okay, that's a different scenario too. We're not going to have much insulation on at all. And we can certainly work with BARE directly to ensure that that's going to be the best outcome. So with undergarments, you have to give some kind of insulating factor here so that we're warm in our Trilam dry suit. Trilam's very thick. That cold water is pressing right up against that dry suit, and it's now pressing right up against your skin practically. Just a very thin material there. So insulation in the diving world isn't just a sweater. It isn't just a pullover or anything like that. It's specially made material that's dense. That's not just going to squeeze and lose all of its warmth and air insulating factor. So with the BARE Ultra Warmth base layers that we get with the Aqua, they're also available by themselves as a top and bottom. These undergarments are a really good sweat layer. Get that sweat off my body, and then also give me a good starting point for a layering system. So you're going to hear this a lot, about the layering systems. We want to find how can we best get you an undergarment that's not only going to work for today as a starter, but also going to work for you in the future when, well, never thought I was going to say this, I'm doing 90-minute dives in Lake Michigan or whatever it is. Now I need an extra layer. Well, instead of just getting a crazy thick undergarment, we can use that BARE Ultra Warmth base layer and maybe the mid-weight SB mid layer to get us where we need to go. Or maybe we have to go with something a little bit thicker. So we can add this accumulation of insulation to then get us the warmth we need. One thing I really want to touch on that gets missed a lot when I'm hearing reviews and things about people with their dry suits that they currently have and things like that is it's very difficult for me to get any kind of mobility. Well, if we think about it, if you naturally can reach back, how does it feel when you're in your undergarment? Can you reach back? Can you do the same range of motion or nearly the same range of motion that you can when you're just out in normal clothes? Might be something to check. We want you to have just as good a fitting undergarments that you have with your dry suit, so we're not losing anything. Because putting on a dry suit, a little bit thicker material, you're going to lose some of that flexibility. So with insulation, that's going to be socks, that's going to be dry gloves, glove liners, base layers, mid layers, and really thick 1 pieces or 2 pieces. Anything you've got to touch on there, Mike? Oh, we lost Mike. Okay, it's all good. So the last thing we had here for the presentation was a question and answer. And guys, you know the number here, 815-267-8400. You can always call me. I'm pretty much always available. I may be on the phone with somebody, but Bill's available. Our dry suit experts are here. We're here to help you out on any of your questions. But if you got a few, Bill, what do we got?
So let's just go over, why would someone choose a Trilam over a neoprene?
So why would somebody choose a Trilam over a neoprene? So somebody would choose a Trilam, let's say they're traveling. They want that lighter weight suit. We all know how long it takes to dry a neoprene suit. The neoprene dry suit's the same way. There are some neoprene dry suits out there, they take days to dry. If I'm traveling, can't afford 20 pounds of water weight to do that. Now, if you plan ahead and you got that extra day where you're not diving, you can really do your best to try that out. The other thing is I'm given versatility. I don't have the inherent warmth from it. So now I can go diving in the tropics. I know that sounds weird, but you never found me in St. Croix. I was wearing my dry suit. If you see us in Florida, dive in the caves. We're in our dry suits. Maybe not a super thick undergarment, but a moderate base layer or a mid layer, and not offering you that versatility. So.
Very important question. This is from Anthony. What is the size fluctuation if I lose weight or, let's say, gain weight? Yeah.
So just in case you guys couldn't hear that question, what if I lose a little bit of weight, gain a little bit of weight? Great question. So it depends on where you're gaining the weight. I mean, because these suits are built like a box, there is a little bit of give in the waist. There is also a expandable piece of shock cord kind of deal in the back that can be loosened or tightened to help make that suit a bit tighter. So there is a bit of fluctuation. I can't give you an exact number, but I can tell you this. The suit that was measured for me 14 years ago now, that suit doesn't fit anymore. And I gained about 25 pounds. But that was also a very tight-fitting cave cut style suit. Now, we just had one of our instructors here, he's lost a ton of weight. And I gotta tell you, the suit still looks amazing on him. It was a made to measure. Wearing his thick undergarments and everything, what he notices is he's got a little bit of excess here, he's got a little bit of excess here, but underwater it's all squeezing. It's not affecting him in a way at all. But great question.
Okay, when we're talking about stock versus made to measure, when would someone consider a custom suit versus a stock suit? What are some of the examples that you will steer someone to a made to measure?
Yeah, so really the main thing there with a made to measure is fit. You know, if I'm looking at a guy like myself who is, 5'10" and small chest, small hips, well, I'm not fitting into that stock, into their window for that size at all. I'm way out of it. Just as if I have somebody that's, a little bit shorter, a little bit stockier, if they're way out of that range, and so when I say way out of the range, that's only a few inches, then it would benefit from going with a made to measure. That being said, let's at least kind of talk about it a little bit because we see it. Is if I've got somebody with a smaller chest and maybe a bigger belly, bigger hips, there's not always a huge benefit to going with a made to measure because of that box pattern, right? We're not building the suit really tapered in much. So we can definitely work with you and find that, but I'll throw this at you too. Modified stock exists. So a lot of dry suit retailers may not, but we can take a bare dry suit and shorten the legs, shorten the arms, and do things like that to get that stock suit to fit you better, still have it made in Salt Lake City, so it's not taking months, it's only taking a few weeks, and end up with that great fit. So when would I order a made to measure? If you're way out of the range. When would I order a stock? When you're right there.
One last question here about undergarments. Is wool acceptable for undergarment or socks?
Yeah, wool's acceptable. So it is a pretty dense fabric. Cotton is not, by the way, we never really touched on it, but when cotton gets wet, it's going to really make you cold. But like merino wool, for example, has been used in the dive industry for a long time. It can get wet and still maintain its insulating properties. So, yep, still definitely use wool. A lot of us are wearing wool socks. Mm-hmm.
One more. This is an interesting question. Kind of what's the best? Meaning, someone asked Shalise Palapatu, what's the ultimate BARE suit that one could buy for basically diving anywhere in the world?
Yeah, great question. So what's the best suit for anything? I'm going to take this and just make sure our context is right as a sport diver. Commercial guys, they kind of have a thing of their own. But I'm going to say if I'm traveling with the suit, I want something that's a Trilam. If I potentially can be using this for decades on all these different trips and doing tons and tons of dives, I'm going to want something probably in the middle category of their Trilam range. So that being the Trilam Tech Dry and that being the X Mission. If your dives will include some abrasive environments and things, that's where the HD2 would be a great choice as well. But yeah, something in that middle range. Certainly, a lot of folks would fight for the Sentry Tech to be in this category too. Just a little bit of a heavier suit and a little bit longer to dry out. So that's the only reason I'm leaving that one out.
Matt would like to know what type of valves or manufacturer come on BARE.
Great question. So on BARE Drysuits, as you will see on all of these, that's funny. Our side set bills. So just as we all have to get creative with the supply chain in making sure that we can still put out suits and repair suits and everything else, we're generally going to find SciTech at this moment in time. In the past, they have used Apex. I'm going to tell you, you're really not going to have any beef with either option. They're both center inflate. They're both rotating. The exhaust valves, lefty-loosey, wide open, righty-tighty closed, press it open. So when I say wide open, that doesn't just mean, gas is flowing at any time. You still need some back pressure in there. So you can't just swap out an Apex for a SciTech, though, so I do want everybody to be aware of that. If you go down the road and get a heated system or you need a replacement or something like that, just match it up with the same manufacturer you have, because the size of the hole that's going into your suit is particular to that manufacturer. So yeah, SciTech at this moment in time, we're going to set that. Another question?
Two-parter. So one person asked about can we use shark skin, and another person said how should someone layer their insulation? So maybe just a little bit more about both of those.
So if we look at shark skin, What are we looking, so in an undergarment, what are we looking for? We're looking for something that's going to wick moisture away from the body. You're sweating, it's hot out. Get that water off me. It's going to help with warmth. Shark skin has that. We're looking for a non-compressible material. So the fleece in that, it's a little compressible. It's kind of holding its own a little bit, but there's not a lot of oomph there. So I would say with shark skin, do the undergarment check that I just told you. Reach back, make sure you have full mobility and everything, and that would be a good starting base layer for you. Warmth, again, this is for an average diver. I'm not going to give it a ton of rating here. Probably 70-degree range is what you're going to get out of that. So going into layering, I would want the wicking material up against my body. Shark skin and base layers are all meant to be up against your body. Suck up that moisture from the sweat and things. Then I want to do my mid layer, and that would be kind of getting me up into that next category. So mid layers can be anywhere from 200, 300, 350 grams, which are generally going to take people 50 in the 50s, let's say. If you run a little bit warm, yeah, it might get you down to the 40s. Whereas a 400-gram undergarment or 450-gram undergarment is going to get us down into the 40s. If you run cold, probably going to want to layer it up with a base layer, maybe even a vest. So there are vests out there that can give us that extra warmth as well. So base layer, mid layer, or thick onesie, if you will, on top of the base. Any other questions?
One that's kind of on these lines. Is
Yeah.
there any built-in insulation in any of these suits?
That's a good question. So the built-in insulation would be in our neoprene suits. We're getting that inherent warmth from our neoprene, whether it's the super compressed Yamamoto neoprene, or we're looking at the D6, which is a closed cell foam that is super thick, that's giving you a ton of warmth there. Trilam, no built-in insulation, because we're taking away from the versatility that we have with that dry suit to be able to go really warm or really cold. Cool. Any other last minute questions? Well, if you do, just throw them in here. So the neat thing that I wish Mike was here to be able to talk about it as well. Oh.
I'm back.
Hey, Mike.
You were doing so good, I just shut up and just let you keep rolling.
Nice. Thanks. So we're doing a really cool promotion with BARE. So BARE and Dive and Scuba have teamed up to offer for the next 7 days. For anybody that wants to order a dry suit, now is the time. Get it while the weather is changing on us and the water is cold. We're going to be offering the quick cuff replaceable wrist seal system on your dry suit. Normally an add-on, and we can add that with a silicone seal or a latex seal. We didn't really get into dry gloves. We'll cover that in some YouTube videos, or if you got questions, you can ask us about it. But this can even work as a dry glove system by pulling over a dry glove right up and over the ridge, or it can be incorporated with one of the other SciTech systems. Really great feature for those that are prone to, having life happen and having broken seals and things. So we're throwing that in. We are also throwing in a free set of undergarments for all you guys. If this is your first dry suit or it's your third or fourth dry suit or whatever, we can always use an extra set. You got one saturated, you got one wet, whatever, change it out. We're giving you a nice mid-weight undergarment, and that's going to keep you nice and warm. So this is not a website promo or anything like that. We want you to work with us. Give us a call at either one of the shops, and we're going to help you fine-tune that BARE dry suit to be exactly perfect for you, whether it's the neck seals, the wrist seals, the sizing, the boots, the pockets, the P-valves, the glove systems, the undergarment, whatever it is. We're here to make sure that it's absolutely perfect for you. So take advantage of that sale. It is going on for 7 days, so feel free to give us a call. Mike, I appreciate you coming out, chatting dry suit.
Great job.
It's, you guys made it easy for us. You gave us a fantastic line of dry suits that really cover every diver that we experience. And the guys in Salt Lake and in Malta, we just got to say, keep up the great work. We don't have these BARE suits coming to us with problems. I mean, they're just so well built. Their quality control is phenomenal. So, yeah, take advantage.
Well, thanks for having me.
Go ahead. Yeah, thank you, Mike. And if you guys have questions for Mike directly as well, feel free. You can shoot me an email, and I'll get you in touch with Mike, or we'll have a conference call or whatever. Mike is a wealth of knowledge. He's been diving here in the Midwest, California. He's been around all the suits as well. So if you have questions directly for the guy that is helping the whole process move, he's available. And like I said, you can just shoot us an email. Mine's easy. It's just tim@diverightinscuba.com. You can info at diverightinscuba, sales@diverightinscuba. We'll be able to get you taken care of and get you in touch with Mike and help you out. But I want to thank you all for watching this video and learning maybe something a little you didn't about dry suits. And we look forward to helping you in the future. Thanks so much.